Hello, everybody. My name is Amol Patel. You're watching the Smoking Hot Coffee Show, where every day, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we talk to startup founders and people in the startup industry. I'm joined with,
Hey guys, I'm Jeff Pelton down here in San Diego.
and today we've got Ben from Poppin.in. He's got this incredible app that allows anybody that can draw on paper to essentially wireframe and prototype an iPhone app. Jeff, tell us more about Pop.
Yeah, it's a beautiful app, prototyping on paper in the app Store right now, that you can use to take photos of prototypes that you've drawn by hand that will link to each other that you can quickly create a dynamic prototype with.
Right, so we're talking, you can draw out a box and then add an arrow, and then when people tap on that arrow, it'll go to another screen. And literally, before you'd have to maybe bring those mock-ups in Photoshop and kind of monkey around with them and then bring them into another wireframing app to add some interactivity. This one does it all on the app, all within the app. I mean,
Simplicity is its key, and the beauty of it. Some of the problems they've mentioned with the other wireframing prototyping apps is that they constrain you to their elements. So it's like, oh, you're going to build a website. Here's a scroll bar, and here's a heading. Here's an image slot. And you're like, well, I don't want to use those components. Mine, look different or feel different. It really, drawing with pencil and paper gives you less constraints.
Mm-hmm. And I have to tell you, I'm always like drawing out and prototyping my apps on paper, and I've taken photographs of them and sent them to people. But the idea of being able to click on it and be able to move around within the app and share that with other non-technical people is genius. And we talked a lot about how he came up with the idea, how he prototyped it, and then he also mentioned how lucky, he called it lucky, right, Jeff, that they
Yeah.
got all this attention. And I'm a big believer that you make your own luck, and in this case, they had such a great app. They spent 6 months developing and making it simple. So you're going to learn how to, what features to add, what features that you're not going to add, which is just as important as the features that you do add. Right, Jeff?
Yeah, exactly. We talk about that, how to make those difficult decisions of deciding what to add and what not to based on your user base, who you're looking to attract as customers.
Mm-hmm. And so he ended up getting some interest from Hacker News. 50,000 people visited the site overnight. Got covered by lots of big tech press. Obviously, luck is a little bit of it, but he had an amazing product, and that's the bottom line. So you're going to learn about his story on all the whole journey thus far, and also what he's going to do with the next iteration, this whole marketplace that he's thinking about, which is also super exciting. So definitely check it out and tell your friends and family about our show. We love your emails. Please email us at info@smokinghotcoffee.com. Jeff?
Yep, please go to our website, check it out, let us know what you think. Email us if there's any guests that you would like us to have on the show, and find all of our subscribe links to the channels that we broadcast to.
Great. And so with that, let's cut to our show. Hey, Ben, thanks so much for coming on the show. How you doing?
Good, good. It's good to be on live, huh?
Yeah, thanks for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Yeah, the pleasure's mine.
Well, I just want to say, man, when I first heard about Pop and I looked at the site and I looked at the little screen grabs and the animated thing, and I was like, how the hell is this possible? And then I watched.
And why hasn't this been done already?
Yeah, because I've actually drawn out. I have pages and pages of notebooks where I've like drawn out squares and arrows and avatars and like, you know what I mean, Jeff? I know you've done this, schematics and how this stuff is going to work.
Oh yeah, totally. I use whiteboarding all the time, and I've got this nice pad of paper that's iPhone size, to kind of give you a head start. It's definitely a way to go. You were telling me before the show, Mul, you told me to Google paper prototyping. You got a book on it, and there's a whole philosophy.
Yep, absolutely. So before we get too far along here, Ben, tell us about Pop, where you came up with the idea, and what are you trying to do here? What itch are you trying to scratch?
Because we've been doing app development for about 3 to 4 years, and we've been always trying to find a way to do a quick prototype. We've tried a lot of different solutions, but mostly they give you a predefined user interface, building components. I'm making something new. How can I come up with something new with those default stuff?
Right.
So I just use pen and paper. It's spontaneous, simple, it's fast.
Right.
And somehow I just felt something was missing. because like it's hard to share, it's hard to reuse, and it's impossible to run your drawings on the phone
Right.
or on the screen.
Yeah.
So one day this idea just popped in my head, and I just thought, why can't I just take a picture of my drawing and then link them together on the phone? So I Googled it and I searched on iTunes Store.
Right.
Surprisingly, I couldn't find any.
Ah.
So I talked to my friend Leo, who is my co-founder right now. He's a designer and he draws wireframes and apps on paper all the time. So he loves it.
Right.
And so we just think, okay, maybe we can just build this. It's not that hard.
Right.
Before we built it, we thought it's not that hard.
Right.
So we talked to another guy, Xiao. It's our third co-founder. So we started this project last year, April.
Okay. Well, all right. So let me get this straight. So you had this idea. You're like, why can't I make these paper sketches interactive? How can I make it shareable? Then you said, let me hold on before I even think about building this. Let me go into Google. Let me go into iTunes. Let me search for possible competitors or see if there's somebody's already made this product, so I don't have to build it possibly. And
Yes, I didn't want to build it. I didn't actually. I just want to use the tool for our development. So I searched for it, but there's nothing like that.
Right. So you're like, well, oh my God, I can't believe nobody's built this. I guess I'm gonna have to build it. And then you thought, well, how hard is it gonna be to build this thing? Am I even the guy to do it? And then is that when you brought in some of these co-founders to help you build the product out?
Yes.
Wow.
That's perfect to scratch your own itch. It sounds like you were customer zero and you had customer number one right at your reach to get feedback, and someone that's wireframing all day long. So how did you then take it to the next step to get the product built? What were the technical challenges? You said it sounded easy, but how difficult was it to prototype and build Pop?
Okay, the hardest part is not about coding, and it's about the flow. It's about how to make it really simple. Because, see, it's an iPhone app when we started. The string size is about the same as the app that we are going to build. I mean, the new apps. So it's hard to design an app in an app.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You're getting pretty meta and recursive real quick.
Yeah.
It's we can make it really powerful, but then nobody would use it because it's just too hard to get started with.
Gotcha.
For Pop, when we use some other software, we even spend more time on learning how to use the software than actually build the product.
Right. So hold on, before you go on, Ben, really quick. So this is you're basically saying to design an iPhone app on the iPhone, right? That's the problem you're solving. You're not talking about web apps or any other type iPad apps. You're strictly talking about iPhone apps. Is that correct?
Yes, that's where we start with. Even though we have we're building iPad version, web version right now, but we start with iPhone app.
Okay, so and because of that, those are the restrictions, and you're trying to find an easy flow, even within that small screen space.
Yes, because we couldn't find any similar app that we can learn from, so we have to do it by ourselves.
Yeah, you got to come up with your own stuff. Yeah.
We didn't have Pop, so we have to actually build it to test the flow.
Yeah.
Flow.
Right.
We have our first prototype within a month, and we hate it because it was not good at all. I actually spent more than 30 minutes to build a simple prototype with our first version. So we were so disappointed, like, this is not good. So we actually spent another 6 months to fine-tune the flow, and because like we have 3 different mindset of co-founders, so we have like different approach to solve the problem. So it's a really painful and long process. But thank God the result it's not bad. When we released it, we started to get tweets from Japan. I don't know why. We don't even have a Japanese version.
Okay.
We have about like 300 tweets in a day, from Japan, and then
Wow.
it started to spread out. So
Well, hold on a second. Before we get into the marketing and all that stuff, let's talk a little about this interaction design. What were some of the issues that you were having with the flow? Like, you want to do one thing, what were your other co-founder? What were some of the conflicts? Talk to us a little bit about that, and then we'll get into the marketing and how it started to spread.
okay, no problem. A lot. We have a lot different approach.
Okay.
Um, One is like, it's too long ago. I can't even remember. Um, just a lot of small details,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
how can we cut steps so it can be easier to do things, and then what are the features that we want to add for the first version, and
Right.
because if we want to have a lot of features, make it really powerful,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
if we did so, then this app would be very tough to use for beginners.
Right.
So finally, we decided to make it really, really, really simple. To start with the very basic function, just to link pages, no transition, only tab, and that's it.
Okay.
So it came out really good. Of course, we got a lot of feature requests, like, oh, can you add like swipe? Can you have one
Yeah,
more
yeah.
sequence?
Right. How did you handle all those all that pressure to add all these features and to make it more complex? What did you do to tell the other partners, like, okay, guys, let's keep it really, really simple? What was the trick there? Did you give it to your friend that never used it and have them test it? How did you?
Oh yeah. We test this to a lot of people, to people that we don't know, to our friends, to the professional engineers, professional designers, to like people who have no skill at all. We started with designer and engineer. So when we came out, our landing page and our app is a little bit more difficult to understand for normal users. I think still, it's still it's still not so easy to understand for normal people because it's like prototyping.
Gotcha. Non-technical people. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Trying to convey the message, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So we list all the feature requests. It's a very, very long request, and we picked the one that really confused us. I mean, because we use Pop to build the next version of Pop, so we know what feature we need the
Wow.
most.
Did you hear that,
Yeah.
Jeff? They're using their own app to build the next version of the app.
Yeah.
That's great. Dog
It's a
food.
lot faster because like we just draw and then we link pages and we send this prototype to the entire team, and then all the other team members can comment, can like they make their own version, and then we just share with each other, and then we choose the best flow, and we sometimes merge those flows, and then we have the final version of the prototype, and we send out to our friends, like non-tech people, and then or like other designers to get feedback.
Okay.
So it's a lot faster to
I-
just draw
I
than coding.
I love this. I love the fact that you can share this with all the non-technical people
Yeah,
quickly.
the collaborative ability
Yeah.
is impressive.
You literally are co-creating this. I mean, it really is, and it's because it's paper. You're not spending the developer's time. He hasn't sitting there coding all this stuff up.
Just drawing, you can draw very, very ugly. It's okay. We just want to make sure the flow is alright. So, but one thing that we learned from is if you want to test with non-tech people or like people outside of your circle, it's better you test with high fidelity mockup. So with just drawing, and if you draw it really, really ugly, then the feedback might not be correct.
I see.
Like within the team, like we all know how this would look like, how this would work because
Hmm.
our app.
Right.
So it's okay if you have like really ugly sketch
Right.
within the team. But if you want to share with someone outside of team, it's better to share with like how high fidelity mockups.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
Gotcha.
I really appreciate the focus on the usability and the flow over the UI at first draft, right? It's more important to have the flow and the function and the concepts nailed down before you make it real pretty for the customer, I think, for
Yes.
the end users.
Yeah, I can't tell you, Ben, how critical it is to get the flow right and to cut as many steps as possible to get to the user action or whatever it is that they're trying to do. Making that thing feel easy and making the flow feel fun. Oh man, that is the real juice. That is the key to making these apps sticky, in my opinion.
Yeah, what are some of the secrets that, while you guys were simplifying? I mean, it's, the constraints of the iPhone and, limiting yourself to one call to action and, things like that and the way that they interact with menus, I suppose. But, what were the kinds of things that you guys ended up cutting out, or how did you, simplify it down? Like you said, you went from taking 30 minutes to create a prototype to less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's no secret. Just do a lot of user tests, a lot of user, because they are just different one from what you think. You think, okay, this is the right way to do things, and then when you test it with your target audience, then it usually not. It's usually different from what you think.
Right.
Like, let your assumptions fly out the door.
Yeah.
Yes. So when we started, we argued, like, okay, this is right, that is right, but now we just choose whatever one, and then we make a quick prototype, and then we share with someone outside of the team. Not only one, but like 10 to 20, and then we get feedback. Then we know, okay, we're right or we're wrong. And one thing that the one rule that we decided if we should add a feature or not is if this app without this feature, will people not to use this app? And if we have this feature, will we get more users? So if we got both yes on the two questions, then we add this feature.
Gotcha. That sounds like two really, really important questions. If we add this feature, are we going to get any more users? And if we don't, then are we going to lose any users?
Yes.
And that's such a hard thing. This editing of features. That's such a critical thinking part whenever you're building an app.
Because it's easier to add features than remove a feature.
Oh yeah.
Wow. All right, so Ben, let's talk a little about. Okay, so you 6 months, you built this thing, you tested a whole bunch of people, you started figuring out, okay, this is going to work. How did you start marketing this thing? Did you send the app codes to some of the bloggers, or how did you get people checking it out? Did you do it on Twitter? Tell us about the marketing part and the exposure.
For this part, I have to admit, like, we are kind of lucky. First, I think we have a good product.
Yeah,
So,
All right, so let's stop right there. Hold on a second. You said you were lucky. I disagree with you. I think, honestly, Pop...
Make your own luck.
I haven't seen anything like Pop ever. And when
my first reaction at the beginning was like, I can't believe it took so long for someone to come up with this idea and build it. Like you said, you looked in the App Store and were like, it's not in there?
Yeah.
I mean, this is such a great idea conceptually.
Yeah, maybe it's just like it's too simple, so people would think, okay, somebody has already done this, and they just didn't look it up, maybe.
No, Ben. I think, honestly, you scratched a niche that maybe other people thought of. You actually built it, and you tested it with so many people, so it was easy and fun. And I think those two things, you created your own luck, brother. Nobody's going to promote you unless you have an awesome product, and you have an awesome product. Bottom line. It's no luck. You have a great product. It is a great product.
And one of the product features I'd say that attributes to that is that, like, I think you've built it so that anyone can use it without training.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be a professional wireframer to be like, oh, this is the best wireframing tool. Like, anyone can use this with their iPhone.
Exactly.
Without like being an expert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's our goal, and I think one of the big mistake that we usually make is we try to solve problem with technology and with like powerful software, but sometimes people just need simple solutions.
Yeah. And paper and pencil. I mean, for crying out loud, it doesn't get any simpler than that.
Yeah. So that's for these years I learned because I built a lot of failed apps, failed websites.
Really? Okay.
When I started, I want my service to be really, really, really powerful, have all the features you need.
Great.
in the end, like people get lost when they visit our website or when they use our app. Okay, it looks powerful, but I don't know where I should start with.
Right.
So that's what we learned for so many for these years.
Right. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. And,
Yeah,
and do something that nobody's ever done before, which is I think what you guys have done. All right,
Yeah.
so you're going into why you felt lucky. Tell us what happened when you started sending this out and emailing it to people. Who did you reach out to first, and give us some early wins?
The funny thing is, we didn't want to launch it because it was really basic, and we have a lot of features that we wanted to add in, but it took too long. Like, so 7 months to build an app.
Right.
That's crazy. It's too long. So we thought, okay, we should release it to get public feedback before we move to the next step. What if we make it so powerful, we spend another 6 months to make it better, but nobody wants to use it? Then we would just waste a year on this thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So we released it, but because it wasn't good enough, so we didn't want to tell anyone. But like I said, and somebody just found us and then started to spread it on Twitter. It starts from Japan. We have about 300 tweets in a day, and then on the third day we had a launch party because we worked so hard for 7 months. We just want to tell our friend, hey, we have this app launch. Come celebrate with us, drink with us.
Right.
Then it was on that night somebody put us on Hacker News, and then we started to get traction. Like headline of Hacker News for the whole night. We have about like 50,000 unique visitors in a night.
Wow.
Hacker News.
You blew up, Ben. You blew up.
Yeah.
And you know what, man? My cup off to you, my friend. You blew up on Hacker News.
Yeah.
God, that must have been so exciting for you and your partners, man. Huh? Wasn't that exciting?
It was, but no. At that time, there's only one co-founder that is awake because he noticed that we got like visitors all over the world, and then he checked it out. Whoa, we were on Hacker News. But the other two men, including me, we were just like drunk. So,
wait, hold on a sec. Did you guys submit it, or somebody else submitted it to Hacker News?
Somebody else submitted.
Somebody else. Okay. Gotcha.
And then that's why I said it's a little bit of luck. But of course, you have to have a good product. Then, the right timing. Then we could blow this up. And so we started to get traction, and then we started to get like media coverage, a lot of requests from tech blog, design blog, and I think that helped a lot. And people started to spread on Twitter, on Facebook. We have about 9,000 tweets about us, and a lot of them are social influencers. So that really helped a lot. We actually haven't spent any money on marketing yet.
I love it. I love it, man. I love it. Grassroots, awesome product. I love that. I love it, man.
And one thing that I want to share with you is because we were not prepared to be like used by so many people. Like we have about 80,000 sign-up users. Because to use Pop, you don't have to sign up. You can just play with it, and you only have to sign up until you finish one prototype. And if you want to share with your colleagues, your friends, then you sign up. So which means those 80,000 users, they actually created at least one prototype. We have about 100,000 prototypes on our server already.
Wow.
In
Nice.
9 months.
God damn, Jeff.
Congrats.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah. No, that's a big number.
Wow, man.
So, of course, we made a few mistakes. And one thing I want to share with you is be nice to your customer. Just be honest with them. Like, we get a few, like, I hate you email.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like we lost the data.
Oh,
When we started, our server was not that stable. Our app is not that stable, so we
right,
lost the
right.
data.
Okay.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
we get those I hate you email. Like
Right.
I was like, oh, so disappointed.
I
And
know. I
then
know.
we were really honest with them. We told them what mistake we made, and then uh, how we could make it up to them. So we just gave them free projects,
Okay.
and that worked.
That's
That
awesome.
worked all the time, actually.
You
Yeah,
know,
I mean, I was gonna say it comes across as like hateful words in an email, but it's sort of a reflection of the fact that they care so much.
hmm
They
Yeah.
were so attached to their usage of your app.
hmm
Of course, it devastated them to lose that data.
Right.
But hopefully they were amicable with your response and supportive of you guys in your early days.
Yeah, yeah. So we actually turned them to our lovers. So
That's
just be
awesome.
nice to them, like be honest with them, and then offer something for your mistake.
Yeah. 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 Let's
We gave about like 100 free projects.
Gotcha. Listen,
Yeah.
I have to tell you though, Ben, this idea of taking photographs of your prototypes and sending them to your friends, I've done this myself with the iPhone. There's nothing new. The fact that you were able to create links and to frame it into the camera, and so you can literally do a UI flow, that is genius, and making the user interface clean and simple is genius. And my hats off to you. I think you deserve all the success that you've gotten, man. So let's quickly go over the site. Jeff, you're scrolling around
Yeah.
on the site. So here we are. I also really liked your site because your site is really clean. It's super clean. You've got very little text on it, and you're using. What are these, Jeff? Are these animated GIFs, or are they like little QuickTime movies?
That videos.
Yeah. They look.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
they're
beautiful
videos. Oh, they're videos. Okay.
animation of the app being demoed.
Yeah. Yeah, literally, I don't even have to read. I literally am just looking at the site and I totally get it. I mean, it seems so clear and obvious. And then the second thought that goes through your head when you see this, you're like, oh my God, this is so awesome. I got to download this thing and play around with it.
I have to thanks to my co-founder Leo. Like he's a great designer. He made this flow really simple,
Mhm.
and yeah.
No, it's really great. It's really great. So
Good website.
you've got a beautifully designed site. It's very clean, very clear. And then obviously you got some big tech press there: TechCrunch, Hacker News, Next Web.
37 signals. Yeah.
Yeah, and you got Jason Fried. I mean, look at these. I mean, you got
Man.
you got head of YouTube there. I mean, wow. How did that feel, Ben? Come on, that's gotta feel so great.
When it first happened, it was a little bit like not real because we're from Taiwan. Taiwan is a small country in Asia, and we don't usually meet these people. We don't usually meet people like you.
Right.
And we use like those services that is created here, and we never thought our service would be adopted by so many users. And then like now people in like LinkedIn, people in Facebook and Yahoo, Oracle, 37 Signal, Vanguard,
Right.
we have a lot of like big name users, and that's the things that we never thought when we started with. But just don't limit it yourself. Just be like open.
Very.
So I want to hear more about your transition. Is this now full time for you? When give us some of the milestones. You said initially when you were looking to scratch this itch, you didn't even want to write the program, right? Or you didn't want to have to do it. You looked in the App Store for the solution. How did that change over time to where you were like, okay, I'm going to build it myself, and okay, some other people are saying this is a good idea, and oh my gosh, this is working, and you've got a team around you. Give us some of those milestones and how you transitioned from, being, using prototypes to building the prototyping, tool.
Yeah. So, like I said, we made apps, but we couldn't find a good tool. So, if there's no tool like this, and I really need it, so we just have to build it. But at that time, I was building another music app, websites and app, and my co-founder Leo was building a recipe site. But we talked about this, and then we didn't want to do it because we think we couldn't like focus on two things.
Right.
And but after 2 weeks, and then we met again, we talked again, and then we thought, okay, this is something new. Like with music app, there are a bunch of music app. With recipes, there are a bunch of websites.
Right.
And but there's just nothing like this. So
Yeah.
we should make a decision to just give up something.
Yeah.
But obviously, we don't want to give up on this because nobody has tried this, and even we didn't know if we could make this happen, but it was a try. So I quit my music app, and he quit the recipe site. So in the end, it was it, but it was a big risk because it was about to finish my music app.
Wow. Well, so
Awesome.
really briefly, going back to Jeff's question, is this pop a full-time thing for you guys? Are you making enough money to support yourself? Tell us about that piece.
So yeah, we did this. We have been doing this for full time and like put 200% of my effort. And I have to say, I have to thank to my mom and dad because I actually haven't make any money for 4 years after I quit my previous job, after I started to do startups.
Okay.
So my family supported me. They support me
Okay.
still.
So, all right. So let me get this straight. So what you're saying, Ben, is you're not really. This is a free app, and you're not making any money off of this. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a free app right now because we think if we are, if I was the user and I wouldn't pay for a service like this yet
Okay.
because it's not stable enough. Um, it needs to be more powerful, but stay as this simple. So
So-
we want to charge for it
Okay. So
until yeah.
hold on one second, Ben. Have you even? I mean, I'm assuming you're still getting downloads every day or every week. I'm assuming that's still there. Have you
Yeah.
considered putting a 99 cent on it just to see, just to test?
We tested with emails.
Okay.
Like we
That's
send
good.
out emails to our users, and then
Okay.
even right after we launched, we got a bunch of emails saying, "I can't believe this is free," and blah 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 blah. You should charge it. You should charge it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, yes, we want to charge it, but we just want to make sure this product is good enough for people to pay for it.
Okay. So
Mhm.
so when you send out that email, did you send, how big is this list, by the way? Is it like 20, 30, 80,000, whatever it is that you said you have?
We choose about 2,000 users.
2,000.
Like,
2,000 users. Okay, so out of the 2,000 users, you send out an email saying, "Hey, we're thinking about charging." Did you actually put a dollar amount in then, a PayPal link, or?
Like we ask how much should you pay for this,
Okay, how much would you pay? Okay.
and then the answer is about between 10 to $20 monthly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Ben. That's you don't need a lot of users to make good money with that kind of price point.
So
Yeah.
I thought I was a little confused. I thought you said that you were already charging for like the collaborative features and the sharing. Are those currently free or?
It's all free right now. It's like you can have 2 projects for free. And if you want more, now we have a little game inside the app. You can peel the early bird. Even the early bird is not early bird. It's been there for 8 months. But you can get like 3 projects by just play with that feature.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Ben, I'm going back to this thing again, man. I'm talking to you. You're really young. Obviously, you got your parents' support there. I would love for you guys to turn this into a revenue model, a way for you guys to support yourselves. I know you were talking about an iPad app eventually.
Yeah.
How soon? When do you think you might actually start charging and adding some of these features? What are we looking like here?
We plan to charge it by the end of the year.
Okay.
And we just want to make it really, really, really stable. Like,
Gotcha.
don't crash. Like, do not lose your data,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it can work across different devices. We have iPhone, we have Android, we have web, and then we have Dropbox Sync now. So
Okay.
we just want to make a service that we would pay for.
Okay. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Really stable, and all these different services, and obviously Android as well.
Yeah, because we know people will pay for that by those emails, and then we just want to let them down. Like, okay, if they pay for a service and then if they crash, if
Yeah,
they
yeah.
lost their data, and then I would feel sorry for that.
Right.
It's
Right.
not about the money. Even we return all the money, they still, lost their data.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You feel
Yeah.
bad about that. No, that makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
Jeff, what do you think about the pricing dilemmas? Do you think he should start charging now, or what do you think until it becomes more stable?
I don't know. I mean, it's tough to say. You do want to have a solid product out, and obviously you don't want to, let your customers down. That would be, the worst thing, or one of the a bad thing to happen. But it's great that you're out there on Android and covering all your bases as well. There's a lot to do there to make sure that you connect to Dropbox and some of the basic services that people, I'm sure, would like to have.
Yeah, well, I'm excited, Ben. But hopefully by the end of the year, you do have a stable product and you are launched on the other platform. It'll be really exciting to see you guys actually like making money off of this and building a real business.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. It's always hard. Trust me, I feel the same way whenever I talk to Jeff about charging for our show. We want to try to keep this as free as possible for as long as possible. But ultimately, if you can get some money in the door, that can obviously pay developers and pay for other people and get the product more stable and quicker, possibly.
Yes, that's for sure.
Well, cool, man. It's been really great talking to you. So we've already got a little hint of your product roadmap. What else do you want to do with Pop? What are the future plans do you have for it?
We see a big potential in Pop, not only as a prototyping tool, because it opened up the door to normal people to have the chance to make an app.
Yeah.
Because they just draw. Now it's just prototype. And then we are testing with this feature, like there will be a button inside the app. So when you're done with your prototype, just push the button and say, make me a real app.
Ah, wow.
So it
Holy
cannot be
cow.
any easier by just drawing
Okay.
your idea and then you push a button, you get an app.
When you say you get an app, obviously iOS has it. There are all the Coca components and all that stuff. Are you going to convert their drawing into a component? Is that what you're thinking?
No,
And then-
it's actually not like that. It's actually a lot simpler. Like, so we are working with like one of our customers right now. So what we try is we believe in human, not in machine. So we just match people who have idea but who have no skill with people who have professional skills like designers and engineers. So if they push a button and then we send their prototype
Right.
to our marketplace, and then we generate a basic templates. So with selected engineers and qualified engineers and designers,
Right.
they can transfer this prototype because you have all the pages.
Yeah.
You know how it looks. You know how it works.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
it's
Wow, that is
less
genius.
communication.
That is genius, Ben. I love this idea. Jeff, what do you think of this?
That's great. I mean, now we just hit a huge idea of
Yeah.
our marketplace.
That is huge.
The pool of developers and designers are going to love building on this marketplace because they know that the input is going to be high quality, design mockups or the Pop prototypes instead of dilly dallying with the client trying to figure out what they really mean or what they really want or
Yeah.
saying, okay, I know you want an app, but you're not going to have the design ready for another month from now.
Right.
This is like hot and ready to go.
Yeah.
Yes, because the hardest part is all about communication. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
they all speak in English, but they speak different language. Like
that's
they
true.
don't know what wireframe is, they don't know what prototype is, but
Right. Right.
they know this thing. It moves on the iPhone, and you just make the real app like this.
Yeah. Ben, I'm telling you, man, I love this idea. This is a great
Oh, man,
idea. This is a really great idea. That's the
And,
whole
I
idea of
think
building a marketplace, opening up. Basically, what you're doing is you're opening up this sort of creativity for the masses, for people that are just normal people, to build their own apps. I love this.
yeah, and but the problem is, it's not about finding those talents, or it's not about finding those people who have idea they want to do. We have those people already, but the problem that we're facing right now is still how to make this simple, how to make this like less communication.
Okay.
If they can just push a button, they get an app, and that's fantastic. But it's very very hard.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do is to cut all the steps and then to create a bridge to both sides of our customers. And to be honest, that's hard.
Yeah, that is hard. Do you are you working on this idea right now, or is this something like sometime next year, or when are you guys going to start working on this?
We are working on this already.
You are?
Like
Okay.
we are experimenting with one customer right now. So we don't charge for both sides. We just want to go through this with them and see how we can help for both sides to make it really really simple for both sides.
Wow.
That's great.
Very cool, man. I really dig it. When do you think we're going to hear more about this concept or this idea? When do you think you're going to have something to show?
I think by the end of the year, we will come up with something like maybe the iPad version, and I'm not sure about the marketplace thing because it's not about coding. It's still about the flow,
The flow. Yeah.
how to make it simple
Right.
for both sides. But we're still trying.
Right.
We hope it doesn't take another 6 months.
That's all right, man. If it does,
Yeah, it might. Yeah.
it might. I mean, but if
You want
it,
to get it right, though.
yeah, you do want to get it right. So let me get this straight. So if let's say I'm a school, let's say I work at a school district. I'm a teacher, 4th grade teacher, and I've got an idea for an app for my kids. I can draw it out, and using your POP interface, draw out the thing, and then maybe send it out to this marketplace and get bids from different designers and developers to build this thing. Is that right?
Yep, but we don't usually do bits because it usually end up with like low quality designers and engineers win the bids.
Okay.
And we want to make it a very good platform for both sides. So if somebody is looking for very very cheap designers, very cheap engineers, they can go to other places like 99 Design or Odesk.
Okay.
Here, like we selected qualified engineers and designers.
Okay.
And because like if we make 10 deals a day,
Right.
we want to make sure those deals are good for both sides.
I love that. Wow. So
Because
this,
if those designers and engineers, if they can make money, so they would just ship with very bad quality, and I don't want that happen.
Gotcha. Wow. It's great, man. I love your whole philosophy on all of it. Quality all the way through.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Oh, this is really great. You know, it's we've talked about marketplaces a bit on the show before, and it's a really in-depth conversation. I mean, it's such a hard problem to solve, the chicken and egg, and kind of making it work, connecting the two sides. It sounds like you guys are passionate about making it work for both ends. You know, we hope you take as much time as it needs to figure that out for everyone, because it's a problem that's probably not going to go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, it absolutely won't. Clearly, we've talked to other people that are marketplace experts, and the demand side is always the hardest. It's usually a little easier to get the suppliers, the designers, developers on, but it's harder to get the good demand and really high quality demand. And I think with your app, making it accessible to lots of people, yeah, it could be
Yeah.
the trick.
The reason why we came up with this idea is from our users. We got a bunch of emails from our users say, hey, I like your app, I like your service. It's really, really simple. I don't know how to code, I don't know how to design, but I have my app. They don't say prototype. They say, I have my app running on my phone, but how can I make this fake app to a real app?
Yeah, real. Yeah.
And then, like, okay, it's cool. What now? What now? What now?
Right.
And people from our user testing, like when we test with normal people, they're, okay, now I get it. It's cool. But what now? Can you make me a real app? So we started saying, okay, maybe for us, we see this as a tool, but for other people, they think this is a great way to start with before they have their real app.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why we came up with this idea.
Yeah,
But,
it's genius, man. You're listening to your customers, and this is it. Yeah. Wow.
And now we refer them to a lot of other services like
Yeah. To other places, 99 Designs, the Odesk of the world. Yeah.
But, and yeah.
I dig it. I dig it a
Oh,
lot.
it's great to hear people are building apps with their prototypes they're building with Pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that means it's working, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, Ben. I think we're almost done here with our interview. I just want to ask you a couple of quick questions. If people want to get a hold of you, what's a good way of contacting you or the Pop team?
I'll send you my email, my Twitter account, or my phone.
All right. Well, so on Twitter, you're reachable. What's your handle on Twitter?
You can tweet to Dreamers Lab or Umu Inc.
Okay, got you. At Dreamers Lab. All right, great. So we can reach you there. And one last piece of advice for any app developer, for any struggling entrepreneur that are looking for their big break, because I know you've been through a bunch of failures. What would you tell them? What kind of advice would you give?
Test your idea first, because it's always good to dream about something, but the dream might not be real. So you can either build it to see if it's real, or you can build a prototype or talk to people first. Right. You don't even have to build a prototype. Just talk to people and see, and find those feedback. It's like, okay, you think that's great, but maybe not for me.
Right. Wow.
Make sure it's really useful for someone.
Awesome. Great advice.
Awesome. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
So Ben, thanks so much for coming on the show today, man. It's been an honor having you on. We're definitely looking forward to catching up with you at the end of the year, seeing what's going on.
Yeah, good to talk to you too.
Yeah, we absolutely want to hear how the marketplace goes and the future editions of Pop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Great.
Hope I won't let you down.
No, I don't think you will. No. I don't think you will, man. All right, well, we'll talk soon. Take care of yourself.
Bye. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.